Good evening, everyone. This is Matthew Holiday with First Hand Weather. Hope everyone had a great weekend. We're finally moving into Christmas week, and hey, we're nearing the end of 2020, the really the longest year ever. Part of me is kind of like, well, it doesn't even seem like it should be Christmas, but honestly, I think this year it does seem like it should be Christmas. It's been a long year, at least to me it has been. Um, so, before I give you an overview of what to expect this week, I'm going to kind of do a forecast discussion. But before I do, I want to encourage you to download First and Weather's new app. It's called Southern Snow. We haven't made it available yet for Android, but if you have an iOS device, you can get this app. You can go to the App Store directly and just type in Southern Snow. It'll pop up. But if you click the card in the upper right-hand corner of this video, it'll take you directly to it. And it's an easy way to get hourly and daily snow forecast out to a week. And then, as we get closer to a given event, you start getting accumulation forecasts and that type of thing. Alerts, winter weather related alerts, and and then just the typical stuff: projected highs, lows, and detailed forecast for each day and night. And then, of course, the first-hand weather written forecasts that can even sometimes extend beyond a week. So yeah, just give it a try, see if you like it, and let us know what you think. So anyways, let's go ahead and get into this forecast. Enough of the app talk, I guess. So we start the week. So we're looking at tomorrow afternoon, Monday afternoon, and get this bit of ridging over the northwestern U.S. and a trough over the eastern U.S. So starting out like in the southeast and really just in the eastern U.S. in general, it's not going to be that bad. Pretty normal for the time of year. With this ridge out west, be above average temperatures in that region. But the next thing that we're really keeping an eye on is it's really several short waves that's going to be the components that shape our next storm system, and what will usher in really cold Arctic air mass into the central and eastern U.S. So let's just move forward a little bit in time. So there's our short wave. That's one of the short waves that's moving in, the stronger one. So this is early on Tuesday, and this will just continue progressing eastward. But what will happen is, in response to this pretty strong short wave, surface low will develop out ahead, and so we'll have this short wave that will continue in the direction of the Great Lakes. So this would be midday on Wednesday. And so just going back just a little bit, so you can see that there's another little wave that is going to kind of come down, and it's just going to, in general, carve out this, pretty sharp trough. And I mean, if you look at this thing, I mean, this is quite a big trough. And so essentially what will happen is we'll have our surface low, and I'll show you a surface map in a minute, but this actual surface low associated with the closed mid-level low will move toward the Hudson Bay, but we're going to have this really strong cold front that advances out ahead of this thing, and we'll get a lot of warm air actually ahead of the front. And so all of that snow cover, well, not all of it, but a lot of the snow cover left behind from the past week's nor'easter, it'll actually melt off. And so the trough will continue to dig a little bit and progress eastward. But so this would be Christmas morning. And then we move forward a little bit in time into Saturday. And you see that this trough comes and it goes, and that's what we've really seen a lot this year so far. It's going to continue as well, where these any given trough or ridge, it's really not staying in any one. These features aren't staying in any one location for a long period of time. So we're kind of getting that back and forth in temperatures quite a bit. And so I'll go ahead and start back, going back to Monday. I just want to show you. So this is a GFS model, and I mean I could show you the GFS or the European, but just while I'm here, I'll do the GFS. And so yeah, that's not the main system that we'll be watching. You know, that'll be a weaker low that'll kind of pass through and maybe dump some snow in some of the Great Lakes regions and the Appalachians and that kind of thing. But here's our surface low. It begins to take shape by early Tuesday, and you can see, it treks just right across the northern plains, upper Midwest, and then it makes pretty much a beeline toward the Hudson Bay. And so this would be Wednesday night. And so we have a really strong cold front out ahead of this. I'll try to draw it a little bit better. And so the air mass, the thing is the air mass behind this cold front that's going to spill into parts of the central and eastern U.S. it has a lot of dry air with it. But as you'll see, if we go into, and by the way, GFS and European models are different on timing, but you can see that it really tries to pick up on some snow on the back end of this system, and it'd be a transition to rain, from rain to snow. You do have to be careful about this because it has a potential to not be as big of a deal as maybe what the models are showing, but that doesn't mean that accumulations won't occur. We're going to have, like I said, we'll have a lot of dry air out behind this, so the amount of available moisture may not be sufficient to really produce much, but we're still watching it. So I'll show you what I mean here. We'll look at a sounding. I just kind of picked a sounding. So this is northeastern Kentucky, and so here you're looking at the surfaces, just saying, okay, so this would be early morning Christmas Eve, projected temperature to be 33 degrees, and then you see the green line, which is showing the dew point, and so you're starting at the surface and you're going up in height, and then where you get that sharp change in temperature in the upward direction, that's where you're reaching your stratosphere. And so you can see through the low and even into the mid levels, the column is quite moist. I mean, it's basically saturated. But if you only step forward 6 hours, you're going to see, look at, so there's a really large difference in just that small amount of time between the dew point and the temperature, and that's indicative when you get that large of a spread, or what's referred to as a dew point depression. When you get that large of a spread between the temperature and the dew point, you're really getting some dry air that's working in. And so some questions remain as to will this be able to will the moisture really be available to drop any snowfall? And I mean, it really won't take that much, to be honest. I mean, this with that kind of cold and dry air moving in, I mean, the snow to rain ratios will be really high. So getting some accumulations won't be too hard from eastern and central Tennessee upward through the Ohio River Valley. I'll show you projected accumulations in a bit, and especially in the along and west of the Appalachian Mountains won't be that hard because you'll be getting that orographic lift, and then this system will continue to move through. So this will be Christmas Eve night, and then that's going into Christmas Day, and then behind this, and you get your typical areas, lake effect snow areas, and then that northwest flow behind the system that's producing enough orographic lift to produce snow on the western slopes of the Appalachians. And so then surface high pressure builds in behind that. And so what's really interesting about this, and things will really have to time out, and I know I'm talking about snow right now, the real story is going to be the cold, I think. Because if you look, let's look at temperatures really quickly. I'll go back to snowfall accumulations in a minute, but if we look, let's go back just a bit. So you can kind of see our front, where our front is coming in. It's a pretty sharp front. So this would be Christmas Eve afternoon, and then Christmas Eve night. That's a mouthful. But you can see that these colder temperatures actually get, even down into Florida, even the Florida Peninsula. But what's kind of interesting about this, getting back to what I was about to say, is it actually, and it probably will be, Christmas morning, it'll actually be warmer in parts of Maine than it will be in a lot of, Florida, to be honest. And if the European, and I suspect that it will be, the European is a little bit slower with this system. So you can really see that even more so with the European. Let's see, so this is Christmas Eve. So this would be Christmas Day, so Christmas Day morning. And so, you have temperatures near like 60 degrees Christmas Day morning, when down at the Gulf Coast and in the Florida, you've got freezing degree weather, or really close to it. That'll be interesting to see how this pans out. Like I said, the European model is a little bit slower, and it probably will be right, to be honest. But of course, this cold front eventually, moves through by Christmas Day night. I guess is how you say it. That starts to spill eastward. And while I'm over here, I'll look at the snowfall accumulations being shown by the European, and let's just start. I'll start Tuesday, and so that's from that one low, that weaker low that I was talking about, and then we'll start seeing additional accumulations due to the main, I guess, the more powerful storm system that'll be moving through. But you can see, these, according to the European, you do get accumulations that get, pretty far south, or at least, the chance of flurries. And I really wouldn't be even surprised if we get some of those, like, flurries or very light accumulations even down into the northern Gulf Coast states. So that's something to watch. It honestly would just be nice for Christmas Day. I don't know that it'll even be that impactful, especially as you get farther to the south. I think that the European is a little bit, the GFS is a little bit more aggressive with the accumulations. But again, you really have to be careful when you're looking at, you have to know what you're looking at. Like, it's not enough just to look at snow accumulation, output like this, because you got to consider there's a lot of dry air coming in behind this system, and that's why you have to dig a little deeper and look at the soundings, which is what I showed you earlier. So these modeled soundings to get a better idea of what could happen. But in the Appalachians, they'll get accumulations most likely, and then into the northeast, mid-Atlantic and northeast, western parts anyway. So, we'll just have to keep an eye on it. Like I said, the big story will be the cold. And if you look at the departures from average, let's look at the European. So yeah, you can see the trough again. So that'd be Christmas Day morning. And yeah, this is looking a little bit above the surface, but it gives you an idea of where your cold and warm air masses are at, and relatively speaking. And, we have all of this chunk of really cold air mass getting all the way down into central Florida, and, it'll continue to progress east. But look how well above average these temperatures are out ahead of this storm system, out ahead of that front. I mean, it's remarkable. Like I said, I mean, you people, residents in Maine, need to go to Florida if they want it to feel like Christmas this year. And I mean, that'll quickly change, and you can see that. But very progressive pattern, even if we go beyond Christmas. And one last thing I'll actually mention while I'm thinking about it, we got a pretty active pattern coming up, and something that, let me go out just a little bit, something that we haven't had a lot, so we're getting this, huge high, very negative North Atlantic oscillation. And so this starts from Christmas, so there's a trough, there's a ridge, there's another trough there. And you can kind of see, like, we have one storm system that's going to enter, and this is according to the European, but, one system that's going to enter the West Coast. Right before the new year, we have another. And I mean, these things are just going to come, keep passing through. And I mean, eventually, I know, like in the southeast and just really the south in general, unless you're at higher elevations, it's hard to get snow. I mean, it's even in the winter. But if you have enough of these storm systems moving through, eventually you could pull something off. And I mean, several of them may produce just rain, but there certainly chances and some cold air to work with as well from time to time. So I'll definitely be keeping a close watch on that. So hope this gives you a good overview of what to expect. Haven't been doing these videos for long. I've just kind of started back up, so they'll get better with time. So you'll just have to bear with me on that. But get ready for a really cold Christmas in central and eastern parts of the U.S., and then eventually over into New England as that front moves through. You just might have to wait for it a little bit, and then pretty warm in the western U.S. And I did do a white Christmas forecast, just to reflect, so the high probabilities of snow, that's more snow cover, because that's largely from the nor'easter last week. Even with the warmer temperatures ahead of the front, I think that there were areas that basically got nearly 4 feet of snow. One area actually did reach 4 feet, I believe. So you had those high probabilities there, pretty moderate in the Appalachian Mountains up into inland, really inland, New England, and then over into the Great Lakes region. And so those lake effect prone areas, pretty good probability of snow cover by Christmas. And the upper Midwest and potentially the northern plains will add some accumulations between the two systems that'll be moving through there. And then I just kind of broad brush the Rockies and Cascades and Sierra Nevadas and all of that. So of course, like those areas, higher elevation areas, will be getting snow or already have snow on the ground. And then I did extend the possible probabilities even down into the northern Gulf Coast states. There might not be accumulations from that from the event around Christmas, but it's certainly something worth watching. And I mean, people get excited about snow in the South, even if there's one flurry. So don't get too hyped up about it, but you know what I'm saying. So yeah, that's the forecast right now. I'll probably do a little bit of a modification of this if I need to this upcoming Tuesday. Just make some tweaks. I don't really expect any major changes to this. So just stay updated with us, and we will keep you in the loop. So I hope everyone has a good evening or night or morning, depending on when you're watching this video. And again, just stay tuned for further updates. Thanks.